Well, to me, it's just, I guess, a celebration of Indigenous history, a great chance to teach and learn about some of the great things that Aboriginal people have done and some of the hard things that they've been through.
Wheels, it's the second week of Sir Doug Nicholls Round. It's always an important time of the year.
Yep.
What does this round mean to you and the Indigenous boys at the club?
Well, to me, it's just, I guess, a celebration of Indigenous history, a great chance to, I guess, teach and learn about Aboriginal culture in Australia, and I guess some of the great things that I guess Aboriginal people have done, and some of the hard things that they've been through, since colonisation. But personally, I just love the round for the jumper designs. I love that's probably my favourite round of the whole year. Just seeing everyone's designs, and just I guess the whole theme about Indigenous Australia. Everyone gets behind it. It's fantastic.
A lot of people enjoy seeing the jumpers, but the designs do mean so much to you and all the people involved. What do those paintings and what do they represent? This year's jumper is a real special one as well.
Yeah, so obviously with our relationship with Sir Teresa, so we wanted to get a Sir Teresa artist to design it. And Amanda Gorey obviously did an amazing design. And when we were speaking to her about it, it was like we wanted to sort of encapsulate Sir Teresa, the Melbourne Footy Club, obviously, and then just the people around it. So she came up with a design, and once she explained what that design meant, it was just fantastic. About sometimes it's about the people in the background that you don't really see, don't get the recognition. They're the biggest support and the reason where you got to, well, I guess where the players have gotten to.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to wear it last weekend because of the clash with the Bulldogs, but
Yes.
You must be looking forward to seeing it against the Lions this week.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to the boys wearing it this week. Unfortunately, we're not doing it in Alice Springs, which would have been great because Amanda's from that region, and all her family would have been there to see it. But it's moved to Sydney now, but that's just going to be great to see the design on national TV.
Santa Teresa is a special place for the Melbourne Footy Club. We've regrassed a ground up there. Unfortunately, we can't be there this weekend as well, but what does that place mean to you?
It's a really interesting one because back in 2017 we started our first reconciliation action plan, and one of the things we wanted to do with that was not just be a fly-in, fly-out sort of team, and actually wanted to immerse ourselves in their culture in and around Alice Springs. And the way we did that was we actually had a group do a whole sort of week in Alice Springs in some of the communities around there, and one of the things we did was camp out in Santa Teresa in the swags, on the red dirt, which was an amazing experience, something a lot of our staff members had never got to do before. So it's all sort of started from that, and then we were looking at give back to the community for some of their programs, and actually sort of made sort of a joke, sort of said, you can help us regrass the oval. And then so a couple of our staff members looked into it, and then we had some studies done to see if it could be done, and it showed it was possible. And so we started the fundraising campaign, and were lucky enough to get a grant from the Northern Territory Government to help kickstart that along. And then the Land Council donated some money for lights. So so after about 3 or 4 years of sort of hard work, the launch is going to be on Thursday. Unfortunately, we can't be there, but it's certainly an exciting time for the community, and I think an exciting time for the Melbourne Football Club.
Absolutely. Your role is the Indigenous Project Officer. What does that entail for the club?
It's a bit of everything, to be honest. You sort of get pulled in a lot of different directions. But the main thing is just basically advising the club on Indigenous issues, how to best deal with Indigenous players and families and that sort of thing. And just giving them advice where they can. I mean, I think I'm the only Indigenous staff member at the club, so other than the players. But it's just advising the club on how best to go about things when it comes to the Indigenous space.
Has the club come a long way since when you were a player?
Well, I think so. I mean, like I was watching the front bar the other night and saw Sid Jackson, and he was talking about he was the only Indigenous player in the whole VFL back then. So it's pretty sad when you think of it. I mean, there's a lot of great footballers that have come out of Victoria, and he was the only one. Well, he's not even from Victoria; he's from Western Australia, but to come over here, it was sort of one out. So the fact that there's generally multiple players at each club, and some staff at not all clubs, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll get to that. But just the support that I guess the AFL's starting to put around Indigenous players, and I think it's needed, and then I think the proof's in the pudding at the moment.
Another really important part of this round is educating the staff and the players that aren't Indigenous at the club. We saw last week a photo shoot with Bedford and Whelan and
Yep.
A few of the boys really combining together. Is that something you want to focus on, educating everyone else?
Yeah, I think the problem with Indigenous space is everyone leaves it up to the Indigenous people to do the work.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think change is going to come from just the Indigenous people doing the work. So that's why I'm sort of big on including non-Indigenous people, and they can champion the causes for us as well. So, I mean, all the boys have got great relationships at the footy club, and boys are more than happy to jump on board anytime we ask them to. So, and they all love the Guernseys, they love the designs, and so they're more than happy to do that kind of stuff.
Do you think there is still a long way to go for the league and the wider society?
I think definitely a long way to go. We've made big strides, and I think the AFL's been a leader with the racial vilification policy and that sort of stuff. So I think a lot of the major sports are leading the way. It's only sort of one, I guess, area that we're actually, what's the word? So we're sort of batting above our averages. I mean, there's only, I think, 3% of the population is Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, and I think it's about 9 or 10% of the playing lists at AFL clubs are Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. So it's a great thing for our sport that Aboriginal people or Torres Strait Islander people choose AFL to play. But in wider society, I think we've got a long way to go, I suppose. Yeah.
One great thing the club does is gives out an award called the Mooditch Award.
Yes.
Can you talk us through what that is?
So Mooditch is a Noongar word, I believe. So I was talking with Jeffy Garlett and Nev Jeddah, I think it was back in 2017 or 18. And we just wanted to, I guess, reward the best player or the trademark player or team player for that round. So basically we just gift the best player for AFL, VFL and now VFLW, also AFLW in season as well when they have the Indigenous round. And it's just a reward. Usually it's a painted ball or some kind of weapon or some kind of artefact, that sort of thing. So just a reward for the great game they played.
Another award and gift that gets exchanged during this round is one pre-game. We're going to give one to Brisbane this weekend. Can you give an insight into that?
Yes, that's a bit of a difficult one. I've been scrambling all week since the change of venues from Alice Springs to Sydney. I was originally going to get a gift from Santa Teresa, and now that we're not playing in Alice Springs, unfortunately I can't get that one. So I've been scrambling on the phones to ringing a few friends in New South Wales, and they've been able to help me out. So we're going to get a nice gift for Brisbane up there.
It's exciting to see. Wheels, thanks very much for your time.
All right, thank you.